In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 WNBA games happening on July 13, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 WNBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Dallas Wings versus Indiana Fever. The Dallas Wings and Indiana Fever are squaring off this Sunday in some WNBA action over at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It's a midday matchup that could get intense, with both teams pushing hard before any breaks or shifts in the schedule, and fans packing the place to see if the underdogs can pull off something surprising or if the home side keeps their edge. While these two squads have split their last 10 head-to-head games right down the middle at 5-5, it's the Indiana Fever who've really taken control lately, grabbing wins in 4 of the past 5 clashes, which includes a close 8-point victory they snagged earlier this year right on Dallas's home court. It's a big spread for Indiana to cover at home, but the Wings are dealing with a bunch of injuries that leave their roster looking thin, making it tough to put money on them when key players are sidelined. Arike Ogunbowale might suit up for Dallas, which could give them a spark, but I doubt it'll tip the scales enough since Indiana's not relying solely on Caitlin Clark these days. Guys like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell are stepping up consistently, and they've even stolen the spotlight in some games, carrying the load when it matters most. As our first pick for this matchup, the Indiana Fever to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams can really light up the scoreboard, and whenever they go at it, the scoring tends to ramp up quick, with the over cashing in 8-2 over their last 10 meetings, and it's been a perfect 6-0 in the 6 they've played since back in September 2023. Looking at the Wings, the over has hit in 6 of their last 10 games overall, and they've given up 85 points or more in 7 of those, showing how their defense can slip and let opponents pile on. As for the Fever, the over's gone 5-5 in their recent 10, but they've allowed 80 or more in 8 of them, which points to some leaky spots on that end of the floor too. Expect plenty of scoring from both sides all game long this Sunday. When the total's been up at 168 or higher, the over's landed 6-5 times, and for the Wings on the road this season, it's gone over in 7 of 10 outings, so that trend could easily continue. I'm counting on strong offensive showings from everyone involved, turning this into a high-scoring battle that keeps the energy up. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Atlanta Dream versus New York Liberty. The Atlanta Dream are heading to New York this Sunday to take on the Liberty in a WNBA matchup. It's a chance for both teams to make a statement before things heat up later in the season, with the Dream trying to build on their solid start and the Liberty looking to protect their home court in what could be a gritty battle between 2 Eastern Conference squads. The Liberty grabbed wins in 2 of their last 3 outings, showing some bounce back after a rough patch, while the Dream dropped 4 out of their past 6, which has them searching for consistency as the schedule gets tougher. These two have gone toe-to-toe twice already this year, splitting the results with each holding serve on their own floor. New York slipped up against Atlanta not long ago, letting 90 points slip through, but they've tightened things up defensively over their recent 3 games, holding opponents to about 79 points on average. In their most recent game, the Liberty locked down on defense but couldn't buy a bucket offensively, so expect them to sharpen up on both ends here and play with more fire. Meanwhile, Atlanta's defense looked shaky in their latest loss, and they got torched for 86 by the Liberty earlier this season when playing in New York, which doesn't bode well for this road trip. I haven't put much stock in the Liberty lately with their rough stretch against the spread, but when they're playing at home, they just seem more settled and in control. The Dream, though, have struggled to get it done away from Atlanta, and even though they've had a decent run so far this year, stepping up in the playoffs means beating top dogs like the Liberty or similar heavy hitters, and they haven't shown they can hang with that level consistently yet. This feels like one of those moments where you have to prove you're among the best by actually beating the best, and until I see the Dream pull it off against a team like this, I'm not sold on them rising to the occasion. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Liberty to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The total has sailed over in both clashes between these teams this season, pointing to some fireworks when they meet. The Liberty have stepped up their defense in the past 3 games, keeping scores down, but now they're up against a dream squad that dropped 90 on them just recently and ranks 4th in the league for putting up points. Atlanta's defense wasn't sharp in their last outing, and facing off against New York, the top scoring team in the WNBA, they're likely to struggle again on that end, letting shots fall too easily. Expect this one to mirror those earlier meetings, turning into a back and forth with plenty of buckets and a final score that pushes well into the higher range. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Connecticut Sun versus Los Angeles Sparks. The Connecticut Sun are making the long trip out west to face the Los Angeles Sparks in Los Angeles. It's a matchup between 2 squads scraping the bottom of the league, with both trying to scratch out a win before things get even tougher after the break, and the Sun hoping to build on whatever momentum they can find on the road. The Sparks might have a bit more raw skill on paper compared to the Sun, who are still piecing things together in a rebuild, but that doesn't mean Los Angeles should be laying double digits against anybody right now. Connecticut snapped their slide with a shocking victory over Minnesota, taking down what many see as the best defensive unit in the W. If they handled that kind of pressure, facing the Sparks, who sit just a notch above in points allowed, should feel like easier going. Neither team is blowing anyone out, sitting dead last in how much they win or lose by, so count on this staying close without the Sparks pulling away big. Look, the Sun are flat out bad and they'll be heavy dogs most nights, no doubt about it. But seriously, what has Los Angeles shown this year to justify being such massive favorites over anyone? They've been the league's biggest letdown, stumbling to just 1-8 straight up at home, looking lost in their own building. Do they even deserve this kind of line until they string together a couple wins? Their record against the spread as favorites is ugly at 2-8-2 over the last 12, with 8 of those turning into flat-out defeats, which says a lot about how they handle expectations. Backing the Sun isn't always straightforward, since they've taken some brutal beatings more times than not, getting run off the floor when things go south. Still, they've hung tough in a few spots, showing fight here and there, and when you're choosing between these two messes, I'd rather grab the points, especially when it's double digits against a team that's arguably flopped harder than anyone else in the league this year. Snagging those points makes sense in a scrap like this, pitting 2 of the W's weakest links against each other. Connecticut might just sneak out with the upset here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Connecticut Sun to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Sun hold the dubious honor of being the league's lowest scoring outfit, struggling to put the ball in the hoop night after night. They've managed 65 points or fewer in each of their past 3 defeats, which highlights how anemic their attack can be when shots aren't falling. On top of that, they rank dead last in overall shooting efficiency, missing more than they make far too often. Neither side shines from beyond the arc either, with both lagging below the league average in 3-point accuracy, so don't look for a barrage of long-range bombs to inflate the score. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington Mystics versus Seattle Storm. The Washington Mystics and the Seattle Storm are set to face off in a cross-conference WNBA game this Sunday. It's a chance for both teams to make a push before the schedule ramps up, with the Storm coming back home and the Mystics trying to steal a road win against a tough opponent. The Storm look like the stronger side in this one, fresh off an East Coast swing where they tested themselves against squads like New York and Atlanta. Now they're back on their own court, where things should feel a lot easier against Washington, and I expect them to grab a solid victory without much drama. The Mystics rely heavily on their pair of rookies to lead the way, but hitting the road against a Seattle group loaded with 3 All-Stars is going to be a rough spot for them. They just won't match up well. With players like Diggins, Ogwumike, and Williams running the show, the Storm's key trio should dictate the tempo from start to finish, keeping the younger Washington lineup off balance and chasing the game. When you look at how these teams have shot from deep all year, there's a clear gap that stands out. The Mystics sit 8th in the league with a 32.6% clip from 3, while the Storm rank 3rd overall at 34.5%, giving them a real edge in stretching the floor. On top of that, the way they handle the ball shows another big difference, with Washington down at 12th in assist-to-turnover ratio at 1.15, struggling to keep possessions clean, compared to Seattle sitting second with a sharp 1.7, moving the rock efficiently and cutting down on mistakes. Sure, you could argue for backing the underdog in certain matchups, but the Mystics have fallen into a habit this season where they handle the weaker teams just fine, but usually come up short when facing the stronger ones. And to me, the Storm still qualify as above average, maybe even top 4 material in the league right now. I figure Seattle will protect their home floor, where they've been at their toughest all year, and putting down the points here feels like the right move without overthinking it. The Seattle Storm are the better overall team. As our first pick for this matchup, the Seattle Storm to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Neither squad lights it up from beyond the arc, so expect most of the action to stay inside the paint, which should keep the final score on the low side without a ton of fireworks. Seattle puts up decent numbers offensively but ranks just 6th out of the 13 teams in points per game, thanks to their style of slowing things down and feeding the ball to Williams and Ogwumike down low for high percentage looks. Over on the Mystics side, they're the league's weakest from 3, guided by a couple of rookies who like to attack the basket rather than settle for jumpers, and they'll probably try to drag the pace even slower to hang in there and avoid getting blown out. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.